Hi, my name is Andrew Donkin, and today we're going to show you how to build a DIY bench planter. First of all, we start off with our planter tray, which we picked up from our local builder's outlet. Now what I've done is I've actually designed the bench to suit all the outside dimensions of the tray, and then I've marked it out and spaced it out accordingly. Now you can see that I've actually taken all those dimensions there. You can see them on your screen, and you can take those down to your local builder's outlet. They will cut everything for you to size. So it actually saves a lot of time and a lot of hassle. So once you've got back from builders and you've got all your pieces cut to size, you're now going to mark everything up. And you can see it's always a good idea just to spend a little bit of time planning beforehand, mark everything according to the plan, and then you can pre-drill everything as well. So I've pre-drilled every single hole, and I've also countersunk the top so that the screw sits below the surface of the timber and you have a nice flush finish. Okay, so we've done all the hard work. All that's left to do is actually start assembling it. Okay, let's get cracking. Right, first of all, we're going to start off by building our top box frame area. Now basically you've got to hold them all square. It's a good idea or handy hint to actually use your table, your bench, if it is square, as one of your tools instead of having that third hand trying to hold everything in the right place. So let's move the stuff out the way. Some clamps. So I'm going to use the back edge here of my bench. And I'm going to use that front side as well. So I'm going to bring that right up flush. Now here's a handy idea. You always are short of hands unless you've got somebody to help you. So just use some clamps just to hold things down nice and firm. Now, nice thing about using a quarter screwdriver, it's super easy to use. We've clamped everything down nice and firm. They've got these little square tips. I don't know if you can see that, but basically it's a much nicer, it actually holds the screw and it stops it from jumping and stripping the head. So it just makes life a little bit easier. Right, okay, there we go. That's our first section done. We've got our box frame, pretty straightforward. The next part, these are little slat pieces. They're going to go on the top. We put one either side. Line that up. Let's quickly screw that down. Okay, right, next we have to actually put our basins in, and you'll see we've made it fit perfectly. So they actually sit perfectly in there, and you can take them in and out as you wish. Now, we want to have slats in between all the way along. So here are our slats. Now, often you're going to find you're going to have a nice little even spacing. To get these right is always difficult, and you start measuring it out. So a handy hint is use some scrap timber. So when I designed it, I made the gaps 18 millimeters. And the reason why I did that is my standard shutter ply is 18 millimeters thick. So all I do is I grab some scrap pieces and I put them in between. These were just some offcuts which I picked up, or the leftover pieces from my original order. And we need one more. And it goes. Right, okay, so you can squeeze all those together and you know you've got them all evenly spaced. You want to allow a little bit of a gap either side so we can get that basin out easily. Let's just make sure we got it the same. That's perfect. And we just line these up nice and flush. We put all our screws in. You're going to see now how much time you actually save. Just by setting up, it's basically like a little production line you're going all the way through. Do all your drilling, get it all done. Do all the countersinking, get it all done. Put all the screws in, screw them all in one time. You're less likely to make mistakes that way as well. Okay, so we're going to line up our first guy there. Just double check we've got that nice and tight. Okay, in with the first one. Right, that's the last one done. We can take out all our scrap pieces. And now we know that every one of those gaps are exactly the same. Now there's a section where you're going to start putting your legs in. Normally you struggle trying putting them one underneath. The easiest way to do this is just work upside down. So we're going to flip it over. And here are our leg pieces. There's that 69 by 69 pine. And basically it's going to fit in that corner edge there. And we've got screw holes either side. And we're going to screw it in nice and tight. Now often if you can hold it down firmly with one hand, that's fine. But otherwise make use of the clamps if you're struggling. And that can hold it in position nice and tight. Okay, we'll start off with our first leg. We'll screw right at the bottom. We can take our clamp off because it's going to be in the way. Okay, that's our first leg in. We're going to do exactly the same for the remainder 3 legs. Right, that's our last leg in. Let's just take off our clamp, move those out the way. That's it, that's our bench done. Basically we're going to flip it over. Right, let's double check, make sure it all works. Fits perfectly, fits perfectly. Okay, so what's left to do? Right, well let's take those out. We're going to get those planted up. We then, all the sharp edges, all the splinters, all the burrs, take some sandpaper and just sand everything down. Get a nice smooth edge, nice and neat and tidy, and give that top surface, any rough surfaces, give that a good sand down as well. Once you're happy with that, we're going to take some wood filler. Here's some wood filler, and all we're going to do is basically got a little scraper, open up a little bit there and squish it in the holes. So now you're filling the top of all your screw holes with wood filler. Any excess just wipe off. Okay, once that is dried, sand it down smooth so you've got a flush finish. Then we're going to put at least 1 coat of wood primer onto the timber surface, and then we're going to finish it off with approximately 2 coats of yellow enamel, bright fluorescent yellow. It's going to look fantastic. Okay, we're good to go. It looks pretty cool, looks pretty funky. All we need to do is take it away and get it planted up. Wow, look at that. We've got this awesome bench planter. We've got plants either side of us. We're out in the garden, out in the open, and it's a beautiful, beautiful day. What more can you ask for? Remember, everything you need to build one just like this is available at your local builder's outlet.